As many as 76,000 inmates may soon be walking the streets of California much earlier than expected. Isn't that great news? The changes approved by the state increase early release credits for much of the inmate population, including violent and career felons, and even some prisoners serving life sentences. Our next guest says the public safety threat is a slap in the face to the victims of crimes committed. You think so? Orange County, California District Attorney Todd Spitzer joins us now. Todd, what's behind this? Why do this?
Why do this? When I was a member of the legislature, Brian, they were always trying to figure out how to close our prisons. Governor Newsom is very proud that he's going to close 2 prisons in California. We're one of the most dangerous states in the nation, and the agenda is to end mass incarceration. But we're talking about the most violent of the violent. Second strikers, those who have committed 2 or more serious violent felonies, and 3 strikers, 3 or more serious or violent felonies. Let me be clear. This is not about good credit. This is about not being bad. You get these credits just if you breathe air.
So who's happy about this?
Well, obviously, there's an agenda in California which is anti-victim. They're doing this with the Philadelphia DA Krasner in Philadelphia. They want to release everybody out of jail. They could care less about public safety. Homicides are out of control. Chesa Boudin, the DA of San Francisco. Homicides are out of control. Auto burglaries. George Gascon, Los Angeles County DA. Homicides are up 50%. Homicides, as we indicated, are out of control. The gang unit was disbanded. And so they believe that everybody can be rehabilitated and that we should end incarceration for the most serious and violent felons.
Yeah, I just don't know if these people called voters are voting to make their life more perilous. It just doesn't make any sense. And here's what they're saying at the California Corrections on the new release initiative. The goal is to increase incentives for the incarcerated population to practice good behavior and follow the rules while serving their time and participate in rehab and educational programs, which will lead to prisons. Additionally, these changes would help to reduce the prison population by allowing incarcerated persons to earn their way home. There's certain people, Todd, and there's certain things you do to earn your way home. I mean, that should be rare. I just find it hard to believe that people signed up for this when they went to the ballot box.
Well, first of all, we already know these initiatives are hundreds of pages and people don't actually know. They also voted for the death penalty in California, and yet the death penalty is not being imposed. The voters voted for that. So if the voters voted for the death penalty, why in the world are they, if they voted for this, they didn't vote for this. We're talking about murderers, rapists, kidnappers, carjackers,
right,
burglars, and lewd acts on children, Brian. We're talking about the worst of the worst. Prison is reserved for the worst of the worst. And every one of these woke DAs that I talked about, and they're trying to do this in my county now, they're trying to bring this woke agenda to Orange County, California, and I won't have it.
Is that all you could do is push back? Is there anything you can do? I mean, the people of California can speak up on their governor and finish the recall effort.
Well, what we're doing is we're pointing out to people that their communities are in jeopardy. I mean, all you have to do in my county is look one county to the north and see that crime is out of control. You know, Brian, everybody's scratching their head, right, except Fox News. Everybody's saying, why is this happening? I tell you why it's happening. Because they want to release the worst of the worst from our prisons and put very bad people, criminals who used to go to state prison, are now in our county jails getting early release there. California is out of control, and the rest of the nation needs to wake up.
Right, and you welcome illegal immigrants. They're going to get full funding from social programs while you empty out your prisons. It's almost as if people who hate America are running America. It's unbelievable. Todd Spitzer, thanks so much.
Thank you, Brian.